Hi everyone, this is Dr Debasish. Welcome back to my channel. Currently we have more than 173 vaccine candidates all over the world against coronavirus, that is called SARS-CoV-2. Let's see how these vaccines are made and how these vaccines protect us from getting COVID-19 infection. Let's begin. There are different types of coronavirus vaccines. Let's see one by one. First is vector virus vaccines. Vector virus is a virus that lacks genetic material responsible for reproduction and is used to transfer genetic material from one virus to another into a host cell. The vector virus vaccines against coronavirus are based on adenovirus as a vector that cause respiratory tract infection. Now the gene coding S protein of SARS-CoV-2 spike is inserted into the genetic material of vector virus. Now the vaccine containing genetic material of vector virus including gene coding S protein of SARS-CoV-2 is inserted into the body of a human being. Now the genetic material of vector virus containing the gene coding S protein of SARS-CoV-2 gets incorporated into the genetic material of host cell, and the host cell produces viral protein, that is S protein, and this protein is inserted into the surface of the host cell, and now this cell is treated as if this cell is infected with coronavirus, and our body produces antibodies and memory white cells against this host cell. The example of this category is vaccine produced by Oxford University. Our next category is mRNA and plasmid DNA vaccines. First of all, the genetic sequence of coronavirus from an infected person is identified and is uploaded into a public database. Now the genetic sequence coding S protein of SARS-CoV-2 is inserted into a molecule called mRNA in case of mRNA vaccines, and in a extra DNA called plasmid DNA in case of plasmid DNA vaccines. Now the vaccines containing either mRNA or plasmid DNA is injected into the body of a human being. Now either mRNA or plasmid DNA gets incorporated into the genetic material of host cell, and host cell synthesizes S protein against which body produces immune response. Example of mRNA coronavirus vaccine is the vaccines produced by BioNTech and Moderna. Example of plasmid DNA coronavirus vaccine is ZyCoV-D, which is produced by Zydus Cadila Institute. Our next category is inactivated coronavirus vaccines. In inactivated coronavirus vaccines, either whole or certain portion of coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2, is inactivated by certain chemicals like alcohol. When the vaccine containing inactivated viral particle is injected into the body of a human being produces antibodies and white blood cells that protect us from getting coronavirus infection. Example of this category is vaccine produced by Bharat Biotech. Our last but not least category is protein subunit vaccines. In protein subunit vaccines, certain protein of coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2, is inactivated by certain chemicals. When these vaccines containing certain inactivated protein is injected into the body of a human being produces immune response, and that protects us from getting COVID-19 infection. The example of this category is vaccine produced by Novavax.